Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute checkered tote bag. For this tutorial, you are going to need 5 materials. You're going to need a sewing needle, a darning needle, some scissors, a 5mm crochet hook, and then you're going to want your color A and your color B. So the difference between the color A and the color B is that you're going to need a lot more of color A than you will need color B. I have 2 full skeins of Big Twist, which is enough. You just need a full skein of Big Twist, Red Heart, or Loops and Threads. Yeah. And then I have my second color, which you won't need so much of, but I have a second. First, we're going to start with color A. The first step that we're going to do is make a slip knot. Once you have your slip knot, just pop it on your hook and tighten. Now, you're going to crochet a multiple of 10 depending on how long you want your checkered tote bag to be. This will be this side of the checkered tote bag. I'm going to do 40, but you can do as many as you want as long as it's a multiple of 10. Now that you have chained the amount that you want, you're going to add 2 more chains. 1, 2. Now, in your third chain from the hook, you're going to place a double crochet. There. Now, in the next chain, you're going to put another double crochet. You're going to do this 3 more times until you have 5 double crochets. Now, notice how I didn't fully finish my 5th stitch. I still have to yarn over. We're going to stop right here and get our color B. Here's our color B, and what we're going to want to do is make a slip knot. There. Now, we're going to place the slip knot onto the hook and tighten it slightly. Now we're going to pull through those 2 black loops on your hook. Now your project should look like this. Now you're going to want to do 4 more double crochets. I like to work over my ends so I don't have to weave them in later. I just did 4 stitches, and now let me just do that half stitch. Okay, I have this. So now that I've worked over these ends, I'm going to take the part that's attached to my black yarn. I'm going to pull through those 2 loops with the black yarn. Now I'm going to go ahead and do 4.5 stitches once again. Alright, 4.5 stitches. Now we're going to pull through these 2 loops with white. Now we're going to go back and forth until you end. And you should end with your color B. For me, that will be white since I started with black. Okay, I have now gotten to the end of this row. If you didn't end in color B, you either did something wrong or you didn't chain a multiple of 10 plus 2. Anyway, if you did 42 chains, you should have 40 stitches right now. Go ahead and count. Now on to row 2. So for row 2, we're simply going to chain 2 and turn your work. Make sure to carry this yarn up with you, but we are going to be continuing working with white yarn. It's easier to tell now because you can already see that foundation. 2. And you're going to do a half stitch on the 5th one so you can change your color to black, and so on and so forth. You're just going to flip like we did in this row. Make sure you're doing the same color that you did on top. We're gonna end on black and meet me back there. Now that you've done the rest of row 2, we're going to move on to row 3. Right now, your work should be looking something like this. Now, we're going to go back into this. So basically, hard to see on my black yarn, but basically I'm just gonna go back through those 2 loops right there. So we get back to doing half of a double crochet, but not doing a, you can just redo it. Like this, right? And you're going to take your white and you're going to yarn over and pull through. Now we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. As you can see, I'm just double crocheting the opposite color on top of the other color. Okay, now that we're on row 3, I already did chain 2. And now we're going to continue what we did on row 2. So basically, just doing 5 double crochets over the color that your stitches are. So mine are black, so I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and switch, and continue that for this row. We're just going to basically switch to white. Okay, now you know what to do, and we're just going to continue that. So we're going to do this until we have a total of 14 rows. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And what we're going to want to do is make sure that when each color reaches two rows of that color, we switch. So mine will be black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white, and so on and so forth, changing when each color reaches 2 rows. And then that will be the front panel. So meet me back when you have 14 rows of that. You will end with your color B on the right hand side. Okay, now that we've done 14 rows, I have this much. I'll measure it just so you know about how big it is for me. It's about 33 centimeters this way and 23 centimeters this way. So now that you have your rectangle, I'm going to show you how to cut it off. Just take your scissors and you're going to want to snip right here. you're going to want to make this loop that was on your hook really big. And then you're going to want to snip it. And you can pull the rest of the part attached to your yarn. And then this part, your color B, you're just going to give it some space and go ahead and cut it. Now I just like to tie these two together to secure it so it doesn't come undone. So this is the front panel, and next we're going to do the back panel. Now we're going to do the back panel. So you're going to want to have your color A, and you're going to want to chain the amount that you chained for this one. I chained 42. So now that you've chained 42, or a multiple of 10 plus 2, you should have your chain ready. And what you're going to do is you're going to skip the first 2 chains, and you're going to go into the 3rd chain from your hook. It's hard to see because I have black yarn, but we're going to skip this one, we're going to skip this one, and we're going to go into this one with a double crochet. We're going to want to double crochet for this whole row. Now that you have done the first row, you're just going to want to repeat this double crochet in each stitch until you have 14 rows, just like the front panel. Okay, now I finished the back row. Use your hook to pull out this loop all the way on the side out, and you're just going to take your scissors, put them inside and cut, and pull the working yarn out. Okay, so now we're moving on to our last thing to crochet, which is the strap. So what you're going to want to do is chain 8. You can chain however much you want, really, depending on how long you want your strap. How wide you want your strap to be. I like a wider strap, so I have this, and it is about 5 centimeters long. So it's a very comfortable thing if you want to put anything heavy in it. So yeah. Then we're going to skip these first 2, 1, 2, and go into this loop right here. Now we're just going to double crochet in each of the chain spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now with this strap, in order to get more of a straight edge like I have here, we're not going to chain. We're just going to flip our work and pull up this loop a little bit higher than usual and continue doing a double crochet. When you're done with this row, you should also have 7 stitches. Yeah, so we're gonna do this for 65 rows. I already have 2 down, 63 more to go, and meet back when you have it. I know it sounds like a lot, but I believe in you. It's barely any stitches, so you can get this done. Okay, so now that you've done 65 rows, you're going to want to take this loop, make it a lot longer than before, because we need it to sew. I made it about this long. And just gonna cut it. Now we pull the working yarn out. We have this, we can tighten. And now we get into sewing. Okay, so now we got our strap, our front panel, and our back panel, and it's time for sewing. All right, so we got our needle and our color A, and we're going to start sewing. The first part we're going to sew is the front panel and the back panel. So we're gonna see, look where the chain is. It's usually the flatter end where you can't really see the stitches as defined. And you're gonna put this on top, whichever side you think looks better. I think this side looks better, so I'm going to put this. We're gonna go from here, this way, all the way this way. So let's start on that. I cut 60 inches of yarn, and let's just string this through our needle. A little hack is put it over your finger and take it off. And you have it like this. Should give you a nice easy edge to take it and start sewing. Now when you're on this side, we're gonna do every double crochet. It's hard to see, I'll show you with the white. This is a double crochet row. We're going to make we're gonna sew 2 stitches into each row. So with the black, I'm gonna start up here in our first stitch, and we're gonna keep these ends to the side and pull this through. Now, with the first one, I like to go through 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times, so it's nice and secure. Now we're going to do one more sew into this yarn, and we're going to move on to the next row. We're going to do, I'm not quite sure what this stitch is called in sewing, but we go in, and then should be getting a loop over top like that, and pulling that through, and grab this, make sure you stay consistent with your rows, and yeah. So we're gonna sew that whole thing together, this whole side, and then when you get to these chains, you should have the same amount of chains, so whenever you see that little indentation of a chain, you're just gonna want to do 1 stitch and line it up properly. Okay, now so that we've sewn all of this together, I inserted my hook into the top of these 3 stitches right here. You can either cut off your yarn or you can do what I did, and we're going to attach the strap. So we've got the strap right here. If you have 6 stitches, you can do this. I accidentally told you to do more stitches than I did, but you just try to evenly distribute it. So I'm on the 3rd stitch of this panel. I'm going to insert my needle and just go twice in for that one. Now when we flip it, because we've done all 3 of those stitches on this side, we're going to do the last 3 into the first 3 stitches of the back panel. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we have that. We can simply cut off our yarn because we don't need it. Okay. And yeah. Next side we're going to move on to is this side. I think I still have enough. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this side, make sure that it's straightened out and it's not twisted, because that would be bad. And we're just going to do the same exact thing we did. We're going to count 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. This is the 3rd stitch. It's all straightened out. And I'm going to go into that stitch. We're going to go in twice in the stitch because we just attached some yarn here. Do the same stitch we've been doing. 2. This is 3. Now we're going to go on this side, flip, and go into the first 3 along with the 3 chains on this side. So this is 1. This is 2. And this is 3. And there we go. There we have it. All we're going to do now is just weave in our ends and then our bag is done. I recommend weaving in your ends however you prefer. I kind of just make knots and sew. So here where we left off, I'm just going to go a second time. And I'm going to thread it through this stitch right here. And just thread it through a few stitches. I did 6 stitches threaded through. Now we're going to go like that, and we can cut the excess. I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.